Happy Monday, everybody. All right. A lot happened this last week. Maybe a lot happened in your own life. What I'm talking about is in the markets as well as kind of politically. Now, Greg and I don't go into the day to day politics, but as you know, we do go into kind of geopolitics and even local politics when it comes to the political effects on money and the economy. And we saw a lot happen this last week, especially on the national level. So, all right, here's the other thing. Greg and I have some pretty amazing charts that we show you all. The special effects are out of this world. Today, I'm not going to do that, but I am going to be looking down because I took notes and I want to make sure I'm covering everything because so much happened. All right. The first thing is the tariffs with Canada and Mexico, our two largest trading partners. They've been looming. This last week, Trump announced that he's going to delay those tariffs until at least April 2nd to, to see how they're complying with the new rules he's putting in place, tightening up on security for the border, fentanyl transfer, all that. Well, the economy has been really concerned about tariffs and the inflationary impact, right? And it looks like Trump just doesn't care. But then he does something like this, which means he does kind of care. And it shows that he is still using those tariff threats as bargaining chips. So again, dodge the bullet on tariffs for a little while. At least the ones to Mexico and Canada, our two largest trading partners. We'll see what comes with that. Next, oh, this was huge. Um, Actually, I'm going to save the huge one for next. Psych. All right. Next, imports from Switzerland, gold imports, massive amounts of physical gold imports into the United States. Why is this happening? Well, it's hard to say exactly. There's a few theories, though. One theory is that it's American banks and large institutions, hedge funds that are and even citizens importing gold before the tariffs take place. Because if you're buying them from Switzerland and a tariff is in place in Europe, then you're going to have to pay more for it. So there's speculation that that people could be moving it in before those tariffs take place. Another theory is that those imports are heading towards Fort Knox because Trump and Elon Musk have been talking about doing an audit of Fort Knox because there's a lot of speculation that there's no gold there. There hasn't been an audit done in decades. So so now there's speculation that all this tonnage that's coming over from Switzerland is actually going straight to fill in the coffers at Fort Knox. We'll see. I'm still waiting for an audit at Fort Knox, but we did see a spike in imports. All right. Third, and this was the big one. Trump signed an executive order adding a strategic reserve, a United States strategic reserve of Bitcoin. Now, we've talked about cryptocurrency here. We've talked about the difference between the utility of crypto versus the aspect of crypto where it's used as a store of wealth and how sometimes those two don't disconnect. We're not big on investing in crypto here. We have a lot of you clients who watch these videos strongly disagree. Well, Trump announced that the United States is adding Bitcoin as a strategic reserve. So, what did that do to the price of Bitcoin? You would think if the United States is recognizing it as an official strategic reserve, that it would push the price of Bitcoin up, right? It actually fell. Uh, the price didn't go up. The price of Bitcoin went down. Why is this? Well, apparently the crypto market wasn't that enthused about it because what Trump is using to start this strategic reserve is Bitcoin specifically, that has been captured through uh, legal proceedings with criminals or civil civil court proceedings where somebody has to pay the government something and is taken in crypto. So these were all seized assets. So the United States government didn't actually use its own currency to buy crypto, and that's where the rub was. If the government starts to use its own currency to buy crypto, it might push the price up, but it may not. The fact that crypto or Bitcoin actually fell 8% over the last week, in spite of the United States government now holding it as a strategic reserve, says that it's still kind of a wild card in terms of knowing what the future holds with Bitcoin. Okay, finally, let's look at some of the stock swings this last week. We talked about Bitcoin actually fell 8%. The S&P 500 fell 3%. Tesla and NVIDIA, two of the darlings of the Magnificent Seven that have been pulling the stock market higher to record highs, they're both down 10% over the last week. So we're starting to see, I believe what we're starting to see is we're starting to pay the piper. The stock market has been just hugely overpriced, far exceeding the stock market's earnings. Tesla, actually, that's a case in point. And also with Tesla, there's been speculation that, well, Tesla fell because Elon Musk is spending too much time in Washington, D.C. operating Doge, and he's taking his eye off the ball of Tesla. I don't think that's true. I mean, he might be taking his eye off of Tesla, but he's got SpaceX. He's always been running multiple operations all at the same time. I think Tesla is coming down because it was far overpriced. If you remember several weeks ago, I talked about the price of Tesla as a stock is equal to all the other car companies on the planet combined. And yet they only sell a couple 100,000 cars a year. So it's just way overpriced. So the fact that it came down 10%, that's not a huge pull down when it was already so overpriced in the first place. So I think these are just signs that you gotta justify the price of things, right? Whether it's Bitcoin or the stock market or Tesla or Nvidia, you gotta justify it, and the earnings just haven't been there for the stock market. Meanwhile, what happened to the price of gold? Over the last week, it actually went up 3%. Now, 1 week doesn't make a trend for gold. We've been seeing this trend, though, over a long period of time. And this just goes back to reinforce what we've been saying. When there is economic instability, some of the things that do the very best are the most boring things there are. Gold doesn't do anything. It just sits there and collects dust. It always has. But it retains value and it stores wealth very well. And so when there's economic crises, money pours into precious metals as well as other hard assets, and those prices go up. So I thought you guys would like to hear that. Sorry, I know this is a lot of information crammed into this little video, but if you like the video, I appreciate a thumbs up at the bottom and subscribe to this YouTube channel. All right, with that, y'all have a great week. See you next Monday. Bye-bye.